The story begins with Yan Wu, a girl who is forced to grow up fast in a very harsh world. Her father is a ship captain, always out at sea and rarely home, so she grows up without really knowing what it feels like to have a father. One day, news comes that he has died in a ship accident out on the ocean. Not long after, her mother, who has been struggling with illness, also passes away. At her mother's funeral, with no one left beside her, Yan Wu makes a silent promise to herself that from now on, she will become a strong woman who never depends on anyone. Years pass. Now, Yan Wu is in her 30s and has become a famous and highly successful lawyer, known especially for handling corruption cases. Big corporations line up to hire her because she is incredibly skilled at untangling complicated legal problems. Her entire life is built around work, status, and winning. Marriage has never crossed her mind, and the idea of starting a family only sounds like emotional baggage and unnecessary pain to her. At one point, she is handling a case involving the son of one of the richest families in the country. During a mediation, she advises the victim's mother to drop the charges. In Yan Wu's eyes, going up against the wealthiest family in Korea will only end in a humiliating loss in court. And if the case becomes public, it is the victim's daughter who will carry that shame for the rest of her life. Her words land coldly, and the grieving mother reacts with anger, pointing out that someone like Yan Wu, who has never married and never raised a child, could never truly understand the pain of a mother watching her child being treated so cruelly. After the mediation ends, Yan Wu meets her senior in the lobby. He reminds her that, as a lawyer, she should be standing on the side of the poor and the powerless, not helping the rich crush them for profit. Yan Wu brushes this off. In her mind, lawyers like him, who take on poor clients, will never change their own lives, since the pay is small and the results rarely match the effort. She believes poor people have almost no chance of winning against the rich anyway, and even if they do, they still cannot afford to pay a proper lawyer. Faced with this cold logic, her senior is left speechless. That night, Yan Wu meets with a wealthy businessman. He wants her to take care of clearing out an old residential building so that his luxury apartment project can move forward faster. In exchange, he hands her the keys to an expensive car and a VVIP shopping cart. For Yan Wu, it is just another job, another chance to earn more benefits and power, so she accepts without hesitation. Despite her beauty and intelligence, Yan Wu struggles with a vision condition she inherited from her late mother. On her way home, the streets are dark and blurry. She reaches for her glasses, but before she can put them on, an accident happens. The next thing she knows, she wakes up inside a strange dome, confused and disoriented. She takes a waiting number and approaches a woman at the counter. After checking her information, the woman realizes something shocking. There has been a mistake. Yan Wu was not supposed to die. Someone accidentally collected the wrong soul. And just like that, her nightmare began. This is Wonderful Nightmare. The receptionist quickly reports the mix-up. Yan Wu was meant to live until the year 2054, yet somehow she is standing here now. When the supervisor, a man named Lee, hears this, he becomes furious. The clerical error has completely disrupted the system. He calls Yan Wu in and explains the situation. She reacts with panic and disbelief. Eventually, Lee offers a rare solution. There is a woman who ended her life early, even though she still had 1 month left on her timeline. If Yan Wu is willing to take over the remainder of that woman's life, she can return. If she completes that 1 month properly, her soul will be restored to her own body, which is currently in a coma at the hospital. With no other option, Yan Wu agrees. After pressing a confirmation screen, she is pulled back into the world. When she opens her eyes, she is horrified. She is now living in the body of an exhausted woman with messy hair and worn-out clothes. A man rushes into the room and she realizes he is her husband, Kim Sung. As she steps outside the bedroom, a beautiful teenage girl appears, followed by a little boy. These are her children. A high-profile lawyer like Yan Wu has suddenly become a full-time mother of 2. Still overwhelmed, she walks her youngest to the bus stop, then tries to return home. But the neighborhood mothers invite her to look for part-time work. After that, instead of heading home, they drag her to a cafe to chat about nothing. The more she listens, the more stressed she becomes. She escapes to the restroom to breathe, but Lee appears again. She begs him to undo this and send her back, but he refuses. A deal is a deal. Instead of resisting, he tells her to try being grateful. Even if it feels unnatural, she should give this life a chance. Someone needs happiness before she leaves. With no power to change anything, Yan-Woo finally stops fighting and accepts the reality she has been placed in. Back at home, Yan-Woo finally tries to accept her new reality. She does her best to live like a regular housewife, even though everything feels foreign to her. During a trip to the supermarket, she gets her first harsh reminder of this new life. Her husband's credit card gets declined because it has no remaining limit. Before she can process the embarrassment, she receives a call. She completely forgot to pick up Haru from school, and his teacher is furious. Later that day, Kim Sung and Ha Nul return home. They stop in confusion when they see dinner on the table. The only thing prepared is a plate of meat without rice or side dishes. Yan-Woo simply tells them to sit down and deal with it. That night, just when she is ready to sleep, Kim Sung suddenly approaches her with expectations. It turns out they have a scheduled night for intimacy. Yan-Woo panics and reacts the only way her instinct tells her to. She fights him off and leaves him startled. The next morning, Kim Sung struggles to understand what is going on with his wife. When he talks to a friend about it, the friend suggests the possibility of an affair. But Kim Sung refuses to believe it. In his heart, he is certain his wife would never do something like that. Later, at the office, his boss, Kyong-hoon, arrives. Kim Sung takes the chance to present a new design he has been working on. It is an innovative sound barrier system for trains, something he believes could change the industry. Instead of showing interest, his boss brushes him off and tells him to focus on a simple sidewalk project because it is more profitable. Meanwhile, Yan-Woo spends her day with the neighborhood mothers again. During their small talk, someone mentions a movement to stop the demolition of their housing complex. The same construction project Yan-Woo once helped push forward in her real life. The memory hits her hard. She rushes to her old apartment and takes all the project documents. Then she grabs the VVIP credit card she once received as a reward. Temptation takes over and she treats herself to expensive clothes and a designer bag. But at checkout, the cashier becomes suspicious because the name on the card does not match her identity. While all of this is happening, Ha-Nul meets a popular upperclassman named Hyun-gu. He is handsome, wealthy, and well-known. Their first interaction leaves her flustered and dreamy. Back at home, Haru approaches his mother with a small bottle of vitamins. He quietly assumes her strange behavior must be because she is not feeling well, and this is his way of helping. Soon after, tension in the house reaches a breaking point. Kim Sung becomes convinced that something is wrong and confronts Yan-Woo, accusing her of having an affair just because she refused his attempt to be affectionate. Yan-Woo stays quiet, hoping the argument will end, but her silence only makes him more frustrated. In the middle of this heated moment, Ha-Nul arrives home from school and casually asks for food. Already overwhelmed, Yan-Woo loses patience. Then things get even worse when Kim Sung walks out holding the expensive items she bought earlier. He demands to know where she got them and becomes fully convinced she must be seeing someone else. Before they can continue arguing, the police arrive and request that Yan-Woo come with them. At the station, they explain that the VVIP shopping card she used is not registered under her name. They even imply that someone like her, living in a modest home and struggling every day, could never own something that exclusive. Just when everything seems hopeless, Kim Sung steps in. Calm but firm, he defends her with impressive legal knowledge, quoting laws one after another and correcting every accusation. Even though he never finished law school, it becomes clear he knows exactly what he is doing. He fights for her without hesitation and manages to shut down the officers. In the end, they walk out free and even keep the luxury items. For Yan-Woo, that becomes a turning point. For the first time, she feels moved by this man she once saw as nothing more than part of the body she was trapped in. Later that night, she sits alone on the rooftop, replaying everything in her head. Lee appears again, and this time he is not amused. He tells her she has caused more chaos in one day than expected and warns her to do better. If she continues making trouble and burdening her husband, she may be replaced by someone else to finish the 1-month trial. When she returns inside, Kim Sung is still upset, not because of her actions, but because she was insulted and treated poorly. He admits he has not been a very thoughtful husband, rarely taking her out or buying her nice things. From now on, he promises to treat her better and give her the happiness she deserves. Those words soften Yan-Woo even further. The next day, Kim Sung tells her there will be a company party and asks her to attend with him. Wanting to do better and live this new life properly, Yan-Woo agrees. Kim Sung lights up with happiness, because until now, she always refused to go anywhere with him. When the night of the company party finally arrives, Kim Sung can hardly recognize his wife. Yan-woo looks stunning, confident, and completely transformed. Proud and excited, he introduces her to important guests, including the mayor. As the event becomes more relaxed, Kim Sung prepares to present his idea about the new train noise reduction system. It is his big moment, but before he can speak, Kyung-hoon swoops in and redirects the mayor's attention. He dominates the conversation, flattering the mayor nonstop, leaving no room for Kim Sung to talk. Frustration grows, and it seems clear the idea will never reach the right ears. Then something unexpected happens. Yan-woo steps forward and speaks with certainty. She confidently explains that Kyung-hoon's project has little value for the community and suggests the city should instead place noise reduction systems directly in train stations. Not only would it improve the daily lives of residents, but it could also increase public approval. With citizens happy, election results would naturally benefit the mayor. Kim Sung freezes, terrified she may have gone too far. But instead of reacting negatively, the mayor becomes interested. He orders Kyung-hoon to draft a detailed proposal for Yan-woo's suggestion. In that instant, the room shifts, and Kim Sung sees his wife in a completely new light. However, the victory does not end smoothly. After the party, the tension between Yan-woo and Kim Sung rises again, leading to another argument. Things escalate when Kyung-hoon storms over and insults Yan-woo. Without hesitation, Kim Sung punches him. Later, at a small food stall, Yan-woo worries that Kim Sung may lose his job over what happened. But he stays calm. To him, defending someone he cares about matters more than career consequences. Hearing that, Yan-woo feels something soften inside her. Even with her feelings growing, she continues sleeping beside little Haru. That night, he falls asleep wrapped around her, as if she is his entire world. And strangely, her heart responds with real warmth. The next morning, everything feels different. Yan-woo seems lighter and more motivated. She cooks breakfast with care and even enjoys the routine. At night, she takes Haru to a night market to play. When he falls and scrapes his knee, a local vendor helps him. Suddenly, a woman arrives and begins shouting at the vendor. He has not paid his booth rent for the month and has no money. She orders him to pack up immediately. Hearing the commotion, Yan-woo steps forward. Her instincts as a top lawyer take over. Calm but firm, she exposes the woman's hidden corruption in front of everyone. The vendor is stunned. The crowd gasps. By the time Yan-woo is finished, people are applauding. No one expected a simple housewife to speak with such knowledge and power. The next morning begins like any other. Hanul finishes her chores, and just as promised, Yan-woo gives her pocket money for the day. Hanul mentions she will be home late, and Yan-woo doesn't think much of it. After school, Hanul is invited to Hyun-goo's home, a place far more luxurious than anything she is used to. Since she has always dreamed of becoming an actress, the attention feels exciting. Hyun-goo knows this dream, and he uses it as a way to make her believe he can help her achieve it. But the moment quickly turns dark. Before they can even talk, he suddenly tries to kiss her. That is when Hanyul notices a phone recording them. In that instant, reality hits her. This is not a friendly visit, it is a setup. She tries to run, she tries to fight, but she is just a young girl with no strength to defend herself, and she becomes a victim. When she finally returns home, Yan-woo immediately senses something is wrong. Hanul's behavior is off. Her eyes are filled with fear and she refuses to speak. Yan-woo takes her into her room and sees the bruises. She stays silent, sitting beside her daughter, waiting patiently until Hanul can breathe again. When Hanul finally shares what happened, Yan-woo's heart breaks. The next day, Yan-woo is summoned to the school office to meet Hyun-goo's lawyer. He tries to intimidate her, insisting it was all just a misunderstanding. He suggests the issue should quietly disappear and offers money in exchange for silence. Hearing this shakes Yan-woo deeply. She excuses herself and steps into the bathroom. There, she breaks down. All the memories of her past life come back. The cases she defended, the victims she ignored, the way she once believed money mattered more than justice. For the first time, she truly understands the pain she once dismissed. Hanul eventually enters and tells her maybe the lawyer is right. Maybe they should accept the money and stay quiet, because they are poor and powerless. That moment triggers something inside Yan-woo. She gently takes her daughter's hand and walks her back to the meeting room. The discussion continues, but the lawyer grows more arrogant. Even the school principal sides with him. They believe they are dealing with a powerless housewife. Then Yan-woo calmly reveals her phone. She announces that from the very beginning, she has been recording every word. The room falls silent. With a steady voice and sharp eyes, she declares there will be no settlement. No silence and no escape. She promises that Hyungu's life will crumble publicly, and if he tries to run abroad, she will make sure his reputation follows him and destroys him everywhere he goes. She will expose the lawyer's corruption, and she will hold the school accountable for ignoring the assault. Everyone is stunned.
하늘의 어머니.
지금부터 한마디만 더 하시면 교육부로 전화합니다.
아이 씨발! 그럼 어쩌라고?
이 아줌마가 가르쳐 줄게. 사과부터 하는 거야, 이 양아치 새끼야.
Outside the building, Yeon-woo reassures Hanul. Everything will be all right. They will win, they will receive compensation, and Hanul will be able to start fresh in another country if she wants. Hanul looks at her and admits she feels like her mother has changed, almost like she is someone else. But after today, she thinks she has the coolest mother in the world. From that moment, Yeon-woo grows even closer to the family. For the first time since entering this strange life, she feels happiness. The next morning, Yeon-woo stands on the balcony watching her daughter leave for school. For a moment, life feels peaceful. But that quiet is broken when Lee appears behind her. With a calm expression, he reminds her of something she has been trying to ignore. She only has 1 week left, and when the time comes, her life will end in a car accident. The reality hits her hard. All she can think about is what will happen to the children she has come to love so deeply. Lee tells her that if she wants to soften the pain they will feel, she should spend this remaining time giving them as much love as she can. Meanwhile, at Kim Sung's office, things take another sharp turn. His boss suddenly gives him a transfer letter. Starting next month, he will be moved overseas. Elsewhere, little Ha-ru stands at a vending machine, wanting a drink. When the vendor asks why he is only staring at the choices, he explains that he cannot spend his money because he needs to save it to buy vitamins for his mother. A few steps later, he suddenly collapses. Yeon-woo and Kim Sung rush him to the hospital. The doctor explains that Ha-ru has inherited the same eye condition Yeon-woo has, and without surgery, he may lose his sight completely. Later, on the hospital rooftop, Yeon-woo asks Lee why Ha-ru must suffer the same illness she carries. There is no easy answer. As she sits beside Ha-ru, watching him sleep, memories she buried long ago resurface. She remembers a childhood filled with loneliness, a mother who spent every day longing for a husband lost at sea, and a life shaped by absence. She grew up independent, successful, unstoppable, yet empty. Now, in this borrowed life, she finally understands that what she wanted most was never wealth or power. It was love. Eventually, Ha-ru goes in for his surgery. While waiting, Lee returns and gently calls her outside. A taxi pulls up and Lee opens the door for her. He quietly tells her that her time is up. Yeon-woo refuses. She wants to stay. She wants to wait until she knows her son is safe. She pleads, insisting she cannot leave him, not when he needs her. Lee reminds her the time cannot be changed. Still, she begs. She tells him she would give up her real life, her job, her reputation, her luxury, everything she once valued, if she could stay with Ha-ru just a little longer. Then Lee tells her something that stops her cold. If she chooses to disappear now, Ha-ru's disease will disappear with her. It breaks her, but she still wants one thing: to say goodbye. Lee stops her, explaining that the moment she tries, fate will intervene. And just as he speaks, a truck speeds toward her. But instead of letting it end there, Lee suddenly stops time, moves the truck aside, and lets Yeon-woo go. Not to escape, but to give her that final goodbye. When she reaches the room, Kim Sung tells her the surgery is finished. Ha-ru is safe. Hanul, relieved to see her mother, quietly says she will head to school. Before leaving the hospital, Yeon-woo visits Ha-ru one more time. He lies there with his eyes tightly covered after surgery, but somehow he knows his mother is beside him. She tells him he is strong and hopes he can hear her voice. He responds softly, saying he hears her clearly and that her voice sounds beautiful. Those words nearly break her. With tears building, she gently asks if he can stay strong, even if she has to go away for a while. Ha-ru nods and promises he will behave, but he also says he hopes she returns soon. Hearing that, Yeon-woo can no longer hold back her emotions. She tells him how deeply she loves him. When she steps outside, she meets Kim Sung. He casually tells her to go get something to eat, unaware of what is really happening. Instead of leaving, Yeon-woo sits beside him and asks for something she once refused. She wants him to call her with affection, like a cherished wife. She apologizes for all the chaos she brought into the family. Her tone frightens him, and he begs her not to speak as if she is going away forever. Yeon-woo asks him to protect Ha-neul and Ha-ru. Kim-sung agrees, assuming she is just stepping out briefly. But when she walks away, no one realizes this is not a short break. It is a goodbye. Then everything shifts. Yeon-woo wakes in her original body, still alive, still breathing. She rushes to the hospital hoping to find Ha-ru, but the room is empty. She hurries to the apartment where the family once lived, but they are gone. The world feels painfully silent. She walks through familiar places. The coffee stall, the bus stop, the neighborhood corners. Everything looks the same, yet nothing feels the same. No faces she recognizes. No voices calling her name. It is as if that life disappeared without a trace. A month passes. Yeon-woo finally crosses paths with her former senior. She hands him a flash drive containing proof of corruption from the powerful company she once served. He is stunned. This is not the ruthless attorney he remembers. She explains that while she was in a coma, she had a strange dream, one that felt unbelievably real. As she speaks, she casually eats the same vitamins Ha-ru used to give her. Later, she returns to her apartment and begins packing. She plans to leave Korea, trying to let go of the memories that haunt her. But while sorting her belongings, she finds an old family album. Inside are warm photos of her and her mother. One picture has been folded and hidden. With hesitation, she opens it. The person in the photo is Lee, the man who guided her, scolded her, and silently protected her. He was her father all along. Realizing this, she breaks down, overwhelmed by a love she never understood when she was young. Time passes, and eventually she boards a plane, ready to start over. But then she hears a familiar voice. Ha-ru calls her name. She freezes. Ha-neul and Kim-sung appear as well. And in that moment, everything becomes clear. None of it was a dream. None of it was imaginary. The love she found, the family she built, the lessons she learned, all of it was real. A smile slowly forms, filled with relief and joy as she discovers they are traveling to the same destination. So the moral of the story is, if life makes no sense, just go with it. Because somehow being hit by fate, switching bodies, and legally roasting everyone might actually improve your personality.